is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a video today. We're going to talk about my top 5 disappointing players this year for this season. And these are guys that I thought that will come in, work hard, put in the work, and continue to get better. Some of these players I thought they'd take the next step and become a superstar. And most of them stayed role players or never lived up to their full potential or hype. I also thought at the end of the day, these players having a whole off season to work on their game, and hopefully it could take them to the next level, or even just understand the game better just by being in the NBA another year. And I think that should have had definitely helped them get to the point where they should be able to have a breakout season. And they ended up not doing that, which is unfortunate, and that's why they ended up making this list, because a lot of these guys look like busts in their second, third, fourth, or fifth season. It's still a little early, guys, so I'm not going to make it seem like their career is over. I'm not going to make it seem like this is it. They still young. They still below 25 for some of them, and some of them is still older, and they just have had a disappointing career in general, which is unfortunate because I was rooting for these guys, and they ended up letting me down at the end of the day. And some of these guys, I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. But let's go with the honorable mentions. These are guys that I personally thought was going to break out. I was rooting for it, and I really wanted to see them show their talent. And they very young. Chris Dunn. I've been a big Chris Dunn guy. I felt like he could have had an argument for being a #1 pick in the draft because he had the ability to handle the ball and play great defense. He played with great intensity. He was a great competitor. He had the length. He had the athleticism. And he had everything that he needed besides shooting, but he was a two-way player, and that's hard to find. And in Minnesota, he was very disappointed in Minnesota. Then he gets traded to Chicago, had a decent year last year. Start this year off with the same thing that derailed his career, his injuries, and not being able to come back the same player, which usually, if you get injured, you usually never become the same player. But that's even worse because he never became nothing better than just a role player and a starting point guard at best. Not an all-star, not a superstar, not even, he hasn't even showed flashes of potential this year because he's been injured. But even when he does, it's inconsistent and he usually has a bad game right after. So the Chris Dunn is a guy I really thought would take over the NBA probably this year or next year, and he has been late to the party. Brandon Ingram. Now, the only reason why I don't have him in my top 5 is because he's not having a terrible season. He's having a respectable season, and he was suspended the first couple games this year, so he hasn't played the same amount of games as other people on this list. But Brandon Ingram hasn't been more efficient. He hasn't been a better player now that he had LeBron. I thought he'd be a more efficient player. I thought he'd get easier looks. I feel like he'd get a higher IQ of the game because LeBron can accelerate his growth because he can help talk to him, show him in practice, show him in real games, but also show him how to do it. And I feel like that was going to advance Brandon Ingram game beyond water, like push the limits of how much he can expand his game, how much he can learn, and it can speed up his process. Now, I'm not going to make it a big deal. That's why he's not on the top 5, but he has shown a little sign of decline. He's not as active. He's not as hungry, and he's not putting in the same energy defensively that I seen him do a lot last year. but he still has room to improve. Like I said, he did get suspended. He just now playing with LeBron. It's gonna take some time for him to get on the same page and build the chemistry. That's why I don't have him on the top five. He's just an honorable mention because I really felt like Brandon Ingram was going to be the second best player on his team, and he just haven't even been that, if not even the third best player on his team so far. But other than that, he having a solid season. Is not terrible. It's not miserable or disappointed to the point where he should be one of the top five. But he's making an argument because we all thought that he would have a significantly better season, and it just hasn't happened yet, or just too early. Number five, Harrison Barnes. He's playing terrible. He doesn't look good. He doesn't look like he fits Doncic and Dennis Smith, which is kind of unfortunate because when he went to Dallas, this was supposed to be his chance to show that he can play. This is supposed to be his chance to show that he can be bigger than a role player. He was the number one player in high school for some people. He was one of the top 5 to 10 players in college. He was a guy that a lot of people feel like had a mature game. He had a game that will be NBA ready from day one because he had the body. He had the ability to handle the ball. He can create his own shot. Plus, he was a solid rebounder. He never became a great rebounder. He never became a great scorer. He never became a dominant player, and he never became nothing more than just a third or fourth option on a decent team. He looks more like a six man right now than a great player, but that's unfortunate because I really thought Harrison Barnes could give you 22, 23 points a game, and he hasn't even came close to that. The closest he's came is to 19 points a game. Will show you that if you're the best player on a bad team and you only can get us 19 points a game, then you really are a role player, and that's what he has proved now that he left Golden State. They paid him all that money, but was he really worth it? No, because they didn't make the playoffs, and he wasn't dominant, and he didn't really make his teammates that much better, which means they should have just used their money on somebody else. But the fact that his contract is almost up, they can move on from him or give him a cheaper contract, and now he won't be one of the more overpaid, overrated players because his salary most likely going to go down unless somebody crazy enough to pay him again. Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon has improved every single season, and he has took a step back to me compared to his last season, and that's the main reason why I have him on this list. I feel like he was supposed to take that step to being an all-star. Yeah, the Magic got a better record. They got off to a better start, but they are in the East, and they've been able to go out there and compete with some of the weaker teams, and they've been able to beat some teams that they shouldn't be beating, but they did that a couple years ago, and we'll see if they can sustain it for an 82-game season, which I doubt they will. But if they do, that'll be finally helping them get to the playoffs. But it hasn't been because of Eric Gordon. Other players like Fournier and Vucevic been playing their normal role, stepping up. Jonathan Simmons hasn't really looked as good as he used to last year. And then you have guys like Terrence Ross that's really taking the chance of I'm coming off the bench. I can take shots. I can run the offense. I want to score. Aaron Gordon hasn't looked aggressive. He hasn't looked like he wants to. He hasn't looked like he's fighting to prove himself. He hasn't looked like he wants to be the man. And that's what I thought Aaron Gordon would do. I thought he'd come in feeling like he's had a great season. He can shoot a little bit now. He's going to shoot a little bit better. And he's going to be a guy that was going to average 21, 22 points a game and show that he's an all-star caliber player. But instead, he looks like a role player. He doesn't look like a franchise guy. He doesn't look like the pick that he was picked at. But at the same time, we're going to definitely see if he ever gets to that all-star caliber superstar level. And if he does, he was worth the pick. And if he doesn't, you got a solid rotation player or a solid player, third or fourth option on a great team. And if that's what you got with that pick, he wasn't living up to the hype. But they did pay him like a max guy. They paid him like a guy that can get you 20-plus points a game, even if he's not an all-star. And it's easier to make the all-star game because he's in the East, but he still hasn't shown that potential. He showed the potential, he just haven't been able to get there season after season after season. And so far, he took a step back this season. Stanley Johnson just looked terrible. And I was a guy that liked Stanley Johnson because I liked his attitude. He wasn't scared to go out there and guard the best player. He wasn't scared to go out there and knock people around in the paint, bump people, play physical. He wasn't scared to shoot, even though he can't shoot. He would still show confidence in his jumper. He would still let it fly. He was a guy that can be a glue guy, a guy that can get some rebounds, play some great defense, knock down threes, create shots from time to time. But the fact that he's still young is he can still get it done. But I doubt it at this point. The guy can't shoot to save his life. He's shooting air balls. He's shooting hard bricks. and he just don't look good. And he even got put back to the bench, which means he took a decline this season. Instead of moving this season forward, he took a big decline. The guy was in all the summer workouts. I'm saying the workout with KD. I'm saying the workout with Paul George. I'm saying the workout with Blake Griffin, his teammate. And I was like, okay, Stanley Johnson taking the year more serious. He taking more jumpers. He looked more confident. He looks like he's really going to live up to that hype of being the top pick. And he took a huge step back to the point he's coming back off the bench, and that's why he's number 3. Dragan Bender should be number 1, but the guy number 1 is more important. Dragan Bender averaging 1 point a game. He went from a guy that was supposed to be the next Kristaps Porzingis. He was supposed to be a great guy. The guy looks terrible. I don't even think you can get a first-round pick for Dragan Bender, considering that he can shoot and he is young still. I don't even think you can get a second-round pick for Dragan Bender. That's how bad he's playing, to the point where they don't even use him anymore. They don't even give him that much minutes because he doesn't play hard on defense. He doesn't even try on defense. He can't make a jumper to save his life, whether he's wide open from 3 or even wide open in the mid-range. He's not great in the post. He can't make a layup. He's not fast enough and smart enough to catch lobs and alley-oops at this point. What can Dragan Bender bring to the table besides that he's tall? Other than that, he doesn't do anything. That's why I have him number 2. Him and Stanley Johnson has been very disappointing. They've been more disappointing than Harrison Barnes and Chris Dunn. That's why I have him at 2 and 3. But the guy that I'm mostly disappointed in is Miles Turner. And he shouldn't be number 1 when you got players like Dragan Bender and Stanley Johnson. But the number 1 reason why he's number 1 was because this was supposed to be that potential year that he breaks out. Just like I said about Bender and Stanley Johnson. But the difference is, he has more talent. He has shown more promise, and he was supposed to be a better player. We all looking at Victor Oladipo say, okay, you got Boston, you got Milwaukee, you got Toronto, you got Philly. Those are the top 4 teams in the East. And if you had to pick number 5, it would probably be the Indiana Pacers. He has Victor Oladipo, who can create shots in the pick and roll for him. He can do pick and pop. He can do spot up threes. He can even post up if he wants to and get that fadeaway jumper that's basically unstoppable. Not only that, he's a solid rebounder and a decent rim protector. He just has been locked into being just a role player. Victor Oladipo needed that next superstar. He needed that next all-star caliber player to put them up with the Philly, Boston, Milwaukee, and Toronto. But Miles Turner seems like he's relegated and he's happy being just a role player. He shows no aggression. He doesn't want to take over. It looks like he comfortably fine with taking 5 to 10 shots a game. He's not demanding the ball. He's not playing consistently dominant defensively. Sometimes he looks like the next big center. Most of the time he's just like just a regular starting center on an okay team. But right now, Indiana is a good team. Victor Oladipo is still looking for some help. He's still looking for somebody to help him get to that next level. He's still trying to look for somebody that can get to that all-star level so they can push up in there with the Philly, Boston, Toronto, and Milwaukee. Milwaukee made the adjustments. They got the coach. They passed up Indy. Indy was supposed to be that next team up and with Paul George, and they replaced him with Victor. Everybody was going crazy over Victor. They thought there was going to be a better team this year, which they have shown that they are. They're getting off to a decent start. But one thing that's a problem is they're not in that upper echelon in the East, and that's what a lot of players and people thought that they would be. And a lot of the reason is because Miles Turner could have been that second guy. That inside-outside game with him and Victor Oladipo, that pick-and-roll game should be strong, but instead is mediocre and not good enough. So let me know what you guys think, your top 5 players that have been disappointing so far. Did I leave out somebody? Is I missing somebody? Did I overrate somebody? Did I underrate somebody? Is I'm too serious or I'm taking it too far? Or is all these players basically disappointing so far this season and just in a career in general? Or should Dragan Bender be number 1 because he's averaging 1 point? Or should it be Stanley Johnson, who's shooting under 40% from the field and under 30% from 3, which means he can't hit a shot to save his life? So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Like on Facebook to show support. Check out my Spreadshirt. There you can find t-shirts, sweaters, and hoodies, including things like cell phone cases, pillowcases, water bottles, and even something random like a mouse pad. All available. Thanks for supporting the brand. Thanks for buying the products. And thanks for continuing to like the video. Check out my older videos. I have multiple playlists on my channel, from NBA rookie breakdowns to NBA player breakdowns to the hottest topics like trades, free agent signing, and even the NBA draft. I cover the whole NBA every single day. I make a video. So join the team, join the family. Continue to like on Facebook, like the videos, watch older videos. Thanks for the support. Thanks for buying the products. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm gone. And let me know who you think the most disappointing players are.